Slaves here with the Senior Pickleball Report, powered by TNC Network. Let's get it going. This week in our People of Pickleball episode, we speak with Jeff McKnight. Jeff McKnight and his father are the owners of the Columbus HotShots of the National Pickleball League. It's their first season in the league, and the upcoming draft and all the excitement with the combine and everything and all the expectations that Jeff and his dad are having are all laid out in this interview. So stay tuned for that. If you like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out all the discount links below. Check out Crown, get a discount off anything that they have on their site, balls, paddles, nets, you name it. And hey, check out our newsletter as well. We've got some discounts on our merch. All links in the description. All right, folks. Hey, let's get to that conversation with Jeff McKnight. Jeff McKnight from the Columbus HotShots of the second season of the National Pickleball League. Welcome to the Senior Pickleball Report, Jeff.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. So before we get into, the HotShots and NPL and the 2024 season and combines and drafts and all that fun stuff, let's find out how this sport, like all of us, captivated you. And brought you into the fold, and and obviously eventually to the part where you're owning a franchise, a professional franchise. So tell me how you got into pickleball.
Yeah, I'd be glad to. It's been a pretty wild past 4 or 5 years, but I got into pickleball just being active. Most of my life with sports. Always played a lot of basketball. Always kind of an average athlete. Played some high school tennis, but mainly because my friends were on the tennis team. But I really loved racquetball growing up, but I just didn't have a chance to play much. It was always hard coordinating games with similar players. And I had played pickleball a few times over the past 10 years or so. And I knew that I really liked the sport, but I kind of viewed it the same as racquetball, that I didn't know exactly, where people would play or how to match up with people or things like that. But I knew once I got into that I'd really like it. So COVID hits October 2020. My suburb here in Columbus, Grove City, put in 6 pickleball courts. And so I was there the day they opened, and I was there pretty much the next couple of years every time the weather was nice. So there was a great group of people there that showed beginners how to play. Shout out to my Windsor Park crew, Bonnie, Mark, Rob, everybody who takes beginners in, shows them the right way to play. And, of course, as you know, with pickleball, it's a great group of people. It's a great exercise. So I love the sport right away once I got into playing it. So I would play, I used to run on the treadmill a lot, and I used to swim a lot. I'd swim laps at the YMCA just kind of to keep active and to keep in shape. And
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy either one of those, but I would swim for years, and I would run, 3 or 4 times a week for the past 20 years. And I never enjoyed it. I just did it for the exercise.
Yeah.
And once I got a pickleball paddle in my hand, I haven't, done a swimming lap or been on the treadmill since. So
Yeah,
I love it.
I can relate.
Like all of us, it's so addictive. And if you find
sure.
something you enjoy. So, and then, so that's kind of led me to played a couple of years, pretty exclusively at the park. And then, pickleball, the more pickleball you play, the more your pickleball network expands. So, and then other suburbs around Columbus, like Dublin and other places, started putting in courts. So I would go up there and met great group of people to play with. And then indoor facilities started popping up. Like the Pickle Shack, Pickle and Chill. There's a new place called Paddle Taps getting ready to open up that NPL is going to have an event at in June. So there's just pickleball is exploding in Columbus, and I'm glad that have a little part in that and playing as much as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it's taken not only this country by storm, but it's starting to go international, and it's exploding globally. And same with you. I picked it up during COVID, and now I have a pickleball channel. But it's one thing to play pickleball, and it's another thing to start a channel. But it's also another thing to I think I'm going to own a professional franchise. And, and most people, when I tell them this, like one, they are like, there's professional pickleball. And then two, there's professional pickleball for people over 50. So talk about the process of
right.
showing up at the park all the way to I'm going to get into this full board. I'm going to get in and be part of an ownership team. So run me through a little bit of that.
Yeah, I still do want to see how high of level I can get at pickleball. Whatever my level is, like most of us, I enjoy the working, having a goal, especially at 50 and older, that there's something to work towards, and there's a sport that I love, and I want to see how good I can get at it. So I wanted to start playing some higher level tournaments. And one day, this was last year, my dad came down and watched me. We were at a tournament in Cincinnati, so we had all day together. So we were just sitting there, talking and chatting, and he was watching me play pickleball. And I said, I want to see how good I can get at pickleball, but I'm not sure if these tournaments are the way to go. These tournaments, it's an all-day event. You have rain delays. They're expensive. The top guys come into town and win all the tournaments and win all the tournament money. So, unless you're traveling with your partner, you really don't have a chance on the high level tournaments to, do well. So, to travel and do that expense, and then to, maybe win a game or two over an 8-hour period, just seems like that I could see how that could be discouraging. And it was discouraging for me. But I said, what I really just found out about, again, this was the NPL, National Pickleball League, was halfway through the first season last year. And I said, I just found out that there's a league for a team sport, for 50 and older players called champion age players at 50 and older. So, I think I would really enjoy seeing if I could be part of that process. They have scouting combines where you work out in front of owners. And so I think, I'm going to sign up to see if I can, how well I can do and compare myself to other players of my age. And then one thing about it, on social media, everybody involved in the league looks like they're having a great time. So I could see, whether I could make the league or not, I want to see if I can be involved. It gives me something to work towards if I can be involved in the league. And I said, and I also reached out, I know they're in expansion mode, and I reached out for franchise information for a team. My dad and I, we've worked together about 30 years, off and on different businesses. So we've, and so that's kind of what we do. We look at different businesses also. So that was, we look at a lot of different businesses. Most of them don't amount to anything, but this one piqued his interest. He's retired, and so then he had asked me, did you get the information? So once we got the information, we dug into it a little bit and thought, this could be a really interesting thing to do together. But what really sold us on the National Pickleball League, and I know you're familiar with the league and went to some events last year, just the people involved in the league.
Yeah.
Once we got to know the people, I started having conversations with Michael Chen, and we hit it off right away. He's a great guy. We talk frequently. I look at Michael as like a big brother to me, compared to like a business associate, even just a short amount of time. We bounce ideas off of each other. I come up with a bright idea and I tell him about it. Sometimes he says it's yes, sometimes he says no, and that's fine. That's we get along, and so Michael and I hit it off right away, and then we started further along in the process. We met Beth Bellamy, Rick Witskin. Not just top notch pickleball players, but outstanding people.
Right.
That we hit it off, and then everyone else involved with the NPL, the CEO Paul, Sam, Stu, Connie, Danae, everybody, Charlie, everybody involved in the league is really top notch, first class, and we went from, boy, this would be a fun thing to be involved in, to if we don't get awarded a franchise, we're going to be extremely disappointed. So it quickly changed to, we need to be involved in this if there's any way possible, just to be around the people and the vision that everyone has for the league. So that's how that all came about.
Well, I think you hit it on the nose. I mean, because you mentioned obviously the people involved with it, it sort of sells itself, because once you get involved with that community of people, and you go to an event, and you see how people are having not only a good time, but I've mentioned this in countless interviews, but are being treated as professionals, because you can tell they're wanted, and they're not just wanted because they're good pickleball players. You touched on this as well. They're good people, and so it's really a fascinating sort of subculture within the pickleball community, and that is the champion pro community. Because I covered pickleball for the last 2 years, and if you just watch the social media on the champion pros, and it doesn't matter if it's the National Pickleball League or the Senior Pro Tour, whatever it happens to be, they all compete hard at a very, very high level. But then at the end of the day, they're out having a good time with each other, and they're having dinners and drinks, and they have obviously, if you watched anything about NPL, those folks know how to have a good time. And it is about having high quality competition. But at the end of the day, I think the difference is we're all in a stage of our lives where this is bonus. Like, this is the good times, and we get to sort of revamp our athletic career, one, and two, take the experience we've had in life and apply it to a really cool business, and hang out with each other, which is ultimately what we all want to do, is have a good time hanging out with one another. So, I mean, I'm sure you're jacked for 2024, the season. I mean, you haven't even started the season, and I can tell already you're beaming. I mean, it's like, so talk to me about anticipating, because you've had a combine, which, you've obviously gone to, and the draft, and then the first event's not too far in the distance here. So talk about what you're anticipating, and your level of what's this going to be like?
Well, yeah, everything we've done so far, we've had the 2 scouting combines, we've had owners meeting, and everything has exceeded expectations, just with everything involved with the leagues. So we're sure, we had the draft the other night. The draft reveal party's coming up down in Naples, Florida. So that, I'm sure that'll be a fun event. I think this will air after that. That'll be a live event on Facebook. But so that'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. And then we'll get the team together, at least online and on paper, and we'll start planning out some strategies and look towards that first event in Chicago in May.
Yeah, I mean, how fun is that going to be?
So I think I'm happy with. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. That's what I wanted to say. I won't take advantage, or I know that I'm extremely fortunate to be in this situation, to have a pro sports, be involved in a pro sports league. I mean, it's a dream to come true for me. I'm on cloud 9. I've always been, I consider a sports numbers nerd, and this, to be involved in a pro sports league. As a kid, the electronic game that everyone had, that you plug in the wall and you turn on, and the players run around in circles. The vibrating football. Well, when I was a kid, I would take stats of those. I would have I would keep track of the league and the league's leading rushers and touchdowns. So I was doing crazy things like that. I collected baseball cards, but I liked the back of the cards where the stats were, the batting average, stolen base leaders.
Yeah.
I can remember where I was at when my dad showed me in the sports section of the newspaper that you can see the box scores of baseball games when I was a little kid. And I got addicted to the newspaper since. So I've always been about the numbers and about doing that kind of thing. So it's always been a lifelong, fantasy dream to be involved in a professional sports franchise, and to be 50 years old, actually owning a team, playing on that team. It's a dream come true. And then to have that experience with my father, that we can work together on it. We're having a blast. We could travel the country together, and that's just icing on the cake for us to be involved together in that.
Yeah. I mean, from what it sounds like, and excuse the language, but you're built for this shit.
I feel like I am. Well, you can ask me again at the end of this season how I drafted and how the team performed, but I'm excited about our team. And like you say, it's pickleball, so
Yeah.
it's meant to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun regardless. But we certainly want to be. I feel like it's kind of our mission as a Columbus HotShots to be, help sport grow and be great representation of pickleball and the National Pickleball League and, the competition. And like you said, the fun events of NPL and all of that. But at the end of the day, it is a sports competition. So there's going to be one winner at the end of the season. And that's our goal. We're going to try to be, the winning team at the end of this year. And if we're not, we're going to see, evaluate it and try again next year.
Yeah. And I always encourage folks. It's one thing, to watch it on a live stream, which NPL does a fantastic job. They showed every match last year, and there's not another pro league or tour in the world that has done that. But it's another thing to show up and to see the level of play from people that, you go, well, these people are 50 years old. How good could it be? Until you stand next to the court and you watch the level of play, I don't think people have any idea like what these folks are capable of doing and what they do week in and week out. Not only their skill set, but if you play tournaments like a lot of these top senior champion pros do, I'm impressed with how their bodies can hold up, because once you get to be our age, it's no joke. And these men and women can grind, and they can grind for, months. And then, you throw in obviously league play, you throw in tournament play. And, I'm in awe of somebody like Rick Witzkin, because, he's not a 5'8", 160-pound guy like me. He's a big man. He's fast and he's nimble and he doesn't break down all that much. And so I think that's part of it too, which people don't realize is like, it's a pretty physical sport considering we're hitting a little wiffle ball around.
That's right. Yeah, I mentioned that to Rick at the Dallas Combine, how, I was impressed with him playing singles.
Yeah.
Because he's a big man, big athletic man, and that singles, I gave up singles. I don't have the tennis background to sing. It was the wear and tear on my body was wearing me down. So I want to focus on doubles and not, I'm not playing pickleball to run back and forth like that so much. But I'm impressed with Rick, Paul, and all the guys that play singles. DK, all of them that play high level singles at 50 plus. Those guys, have my admiration for sure.
Absolutely. So before we get you out of here, let's talk about, the upcoming season. Obviously there's 6 events and they're spread out kind of through the summer into the fall, starting in the early spring. Anything in particular you're sort of looking forward to and seeing like out there, or how you react or how your team reacts or the camaraderie? Talk to me about a couple of things you maybe have just kind of daydreamed about a little bit.
Well, not so much the on-court competition. What I'm looking forward to is the getting the word out about pickleball. I think we're fortunate this year that we have an event in Chicago, and then we have an event. The second event in June is in Columbus, and then we have an event in Cincinnati. So, I think a lot of people are like I was a year ago. I played a lot of pickleball, but I didn't know any pro's name. I didn't know Rick Witzkin or Beth Melvey, or anybody. And I think there are a lot of people that would be like me if they realized the level of play that these players have. Dane Gingrich, Chris Headings, Rick, Beth, all the top players, not just for 50 and older pickleball. These are some of the top players in the country at pickleball in general. So they've got great personalities. There's a story behind all of them. And so the more you get involved in watching pickleball, it improves your game because you see what the top players are doing, and then you start to know these people and know their personalities and become fans of the league. That's what I want to do. I want I want to, expand, the fan base of
Yeah.
NPL and pickleball in general, because ultimately, that the league's going to be successful as the league grows. That's one thing, and specifically with it being two events in Ohio, I take a little bit of, I'm going to have a little bit of pride in that. That's one reason.
Yeah.
There were a few different reasons why we called our team the Columbus HotShots. But, one reason is that, as I started playing more pickleball and played people from Florida and Texas and California and Phoenix, I think that people in Columbus, Ohio can match up with all of them. I think that there is, a lot of pickleball hotshots in Columbus. So we're the Columbus HotShots. So that's,
Yeah.
we kind of want to have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. We've got events coming to Ohio. We want to be Ohio's team. We want to be, the team of the Midwest. We want the
Yeah.
Columbus HotShots name to mean something. We want, players to want to play for the HotShots because we want to help build, as our brand builds, we want to build our players' brand, turn them into stars so they can get better, bigger promotional opportunities, clinic opportunities, and things like that. So, I'm looking forward to watching, hopefully our social media network grow, the leagues grow, the players grow, and try to really build, the following of the sport. I go from just the top players knowing about each other to, casual sports fans knowing about, the top players' names. And I don't think we're far off from that. And to me, that's the exciting part. The games, of course, and once we get into the matchups, I mean, I love the matchups and the playing and the win-loss records. But to me, if we can, talk a year from now, if the social media and name recognition of all these top stars grows and NPL grows and pickleball continues on its chart forward, that's what I'll really be excited about.
Yeah, and what's great is you're already an ambassador. I can tell just by the way you speak about not only pickleball but the league specifically and what you want for the hot shots. And it's really cool to see that people are doing this for what I consider to be pretty selfless reasons. They want to see. It's kind of like raising all the boats, so to speak. Everybody's, we're all competing, but at the same time, we're still kind of all in this wave of whatever this sport is going to become and what it's already become on some level. So kudos to you and your dad, obviously, in taking a shot, no pun intended, at NPL. And it's cool to see people that have a real love and enthusiasm for the game and for the people involved in the game, which is really what it comes down to. So I appreciate your sentiments, and it's fun to see. And I hope to get to meet you in person sometime this season.
Oh, absolutely. I look forward to it. And again, like I think you do a great service to the sport, and particularly the 50 and older players in the sport. So that's how, we're all in this together. So anything we can do to help you, that would be exciting for us.
Right on. Jeff McKnight, thanks. Owner with his dad of the HotShots, Columbus HotShots in Ohio. Best of luck 2024 season, NPL. Go check them out. All the links below in the description for the HotShots and the National Pickleball League. Starting play this May and running through October. And hey, check out that paddle. Love it.
Yeah, Renee Stafford at the Texas Combine made this paddle for us and gave it to us.
Fantastic logo, by the way. Love it. Hope you enjoyed our conversation with Jeff. Stay tuned for more conversations like this in the future as we expand our horizons here at SPR. All right, folks. Again, subscribe to that newsletter so you don't miss out on anything, all things pickleball. And hey, at the end of the day, hey, let's pickle.